Okay, business structure. A business structure, we talk about different business entities. We've got sole proprietorship, general partnership, limited partnership, limited liability partnership, limited liability company, C Corp, S Corp, and limited liability limited partnership. So let's go through these. We've got an overview of all of them, an overview of all types of business structures. We've got a grid that shows the formation for all of these, the liability of the owners, the taxation, the profit and loss allocation, and if ownership is transferable. So this grid gives you an overview. Note that the overview is also on the buildings on your lesson map. Your lesson city map, that information's all there on the buildings themselves. So let's go through them one by one. We've got a sole proprietorship. This is your little mom and pop grocery store, dry cleaner. This is you if you open a single person software consulting company or bike delivery service, whatever. This is you. Formation not formal. You just start doing business. Liability of owners, unlimited liability, just like you have theoretically in your own life. Unlimited liability as the owner. If your business does something, then you have liability. Taxation, single person, it just goes on to your 1040 on the Schedule C. Profit and loss allocation all goes to the single owner. Transferable, freely transferable. So very, very straightforward. One person owns the business, no formality is required. I think you'll get those questions. Next one, we got a partnership, a general partnership. This is one of the very common, we have a whole partnership lesson, obviously. General partnership formation is not formal. Liability is joint and several. So not only do you now have liability for your own life, you have liability for anything the business does. Even if your partner kind of is responsible, you're responsible for everything. And so is he or she. Taxation is flow through, so it's not double taxation. When Microsoft was started, Bill Gates and Steve Allen, is that his name? Paul Allen, decided to split ownership 64-36 and maybe profits the same way. When Apple was formed, Steve Jobs and Wozniak, even though Steve Wozniak was the brilliant guy who built the computer and did all the work, somehow Steve Jobs convinced him that he deserved 64% of the company. Anyway, that's the profit and loss allocation. Transferable, it's not transferable without unanimous consent. Now, what is a partnership is very important. You need to know this. They will ask you. Partnership is two or more persons who intend to carry on a business for profit. If you are doing charity work, non-profit work, you don't intend to make money, then you're not a partnership at the taxation level. Okay, let's go through the general partnership. The approval of activities during the ordinary course of business is decided by majority vote, just like you'd expect. If there's a major fundamental change, requires unanimous consent, just like you'd expect. You and your buddy start a pizza company, you and your two buddies, okay? And two of you are working and you decide, we're going to make this special pizza, then those two guys can do it. If you say, we're going to sell the business, you can't do it unless all three of you make that decision. Okay, major fundamental changes. Here's some examples. New partners, you want to add someone. Keep the pizza company in mind, the Three Buddies Pizza Company. Changing the partnership agreement, obviously that's a big change. Assigning partnership property to someone new. Restructuring of goodwill. Admitting liability in the lawsuit. Submitting a claim to arbitration. None of this stuff you would do with only two of the buddies. You would want all three, for sure. Very clear. Okay. Now, dissolution of a partnership, that's obviously a major change. That's the one exception. You can dissolve a major partnership with just one of the buddies. One of the buddies can say, hey, I am not going to be in this partnership anymore. Partnership could continue to exist, but they would not be part of it anymore. Okay, in general, agency law governs a partnership. Every partner is an agent of the partnership. Partnership is their principal. So every partner has the actual authority that's granted to him in the partnership agreement. He also has apparent authority. If your supplier walks into your partnership office and one of your partners is there, and you guys have a written agreement that say, hey, Bobby's not allowed to buy supplies because he doesn't know what he's doing. But Bobby's sitting there, and the supplier comes in, and Bobby says, hey, I'm going to buy $1 million worth of your party balloons. Bobby has apparent authority, so that binds him in that agency agreement, in that contract. Binds the partnership. Rights of the partners in a general partnership property. Partners cannot own partnership property. Partner cannot assign or sell partnership property for his or her own benefit. And the creditors of a partner cannot attach partnership property to satisfy the debt. The partner is separate from the partnership in regards to partnership property. The rights in a partnership interest. Partnership interest is roughly the same as owner's equity. Partners have rights to their share of the profits. Partner can assign his share of profit or surplus to anyone. Okay, that's clear. You own that. You can assign it to someone. However, that assignee does not become a partner. So that's pretty obvious. Again, you assign your rights to someone. They don't become a partner just because you give them rights to something. Okay, general partnership. Creditors in debt. Creditors of a partner cannot attach partnership property to satisfy that partner's debt. We discussed that already. If Bobby owes, in his personal life, Bobby owes somebody because he bought a hamburger company or something, and the hamburger company cannot try to get that money from the partnership. It's Bobby's personal debt. Partnership interest when a partner dies. Partner's rights to profits vest in his heirs. The partner's right to partnership property vests in the surviving partners. It does not transfer to his heirs. So the right to profit vests in his heirs. The right to partnership property vests in the surviving partners. Partner rights. The right of inspection. Every partner has the right to inspect and copy the books and records of the partnership. 3 Buddies Pizza Company. All 3 buddies can look at the books of the pizza company. Right of compensation. A partner has the right to be compensated for expense if he does expense on behalf of the partnership. Right for legal offense, a partner can sue the partnership if the partnership has breached a contract. Duties and legal obligation of general partnership. Fiduciary duty. Every partner has a fiduciary duty to the partnership. He or she must use the partnership property only for benefit of the partnership. Personally liable. Every partner is personally liable, joint and severally liable for all partnership obligations, include supplier debts, rents, and tort liabilities. Even if the partner only owns 20% of the partnership, he or she is still liable for 100% of the obligation. Very important point. CPA exam will ask you about that. Jointly and severally liable. Profit and loss allocation generally shared equally unless agreement otherwise. The CPA exam may well ask you about this. General partnership, profit and loss generally equal. That's profit. Loss. This is much more likely to be asked. Losses are allocated the same as profits unless agreed otherwise. Okay, so if they have an agreement, the 3 partners, they're gonna split it up 20, 20, and 60. 20%, 20%, 60%. Okay, that's the profit agreement. Losses will be allocated by that same ratio unless agreed otherwise. If they agree to something specifically, very clear. So the CPA exam asks you, that's how you do it. It's equal unless agreed otherwise. Losses are the same as profits unless agreed otherwise. Example, if there's not an agreement, there's a $100,000 loss, A, B, C, D, and E will all be responsible for $20,000. If there's an agreement stating that each partner gets 10% of the profits except for A, who gets all the rest, then that agreement applies to losses also. Then B, C, D, and E, and F are responsible for $10,000 each, and A is responsible for $50,000. Distribution in general partnerships. Partners do not receive a salary, not entitled to compensation. In some cases, partners receive guaranteed payments, which act as a salary. So they get a distribution could get a distribution instead of salary, but not necessarily. Termination of a partnership. change in the partnership caused by any partner who withdraws, dies, becomes bankrupt, or is expelled. Consequences of dissociation. When a partner dissociates, his actual authority ceases. However, his apparent authority will continue until third parties are given a notice. So the age-old question of apparent authority versus actual authority, that's agency, principles, same thing here. Consequences of dissociation to the partner who dissociated. Dissociated partner remains liable for the debts incurred by the partnership prior to dissociation. May be held liable for up to 2 years after dissociation unless third parties are given a notice of dissociation. Okay, so we got the 2-year limit there. You may want to remember that. It seems a little bit arbitrary, but that's something to remember. Liability of new partner. If a new partner is admitted, he will not be personally liable for debts incurred by the partnership prior to his admittance, but he is liable up to his investment in the partnership. If he invested $1 million in a partnership, he then becomes liable for $1 million of debts that happened before he joined. Dissolution of general partnership. Partnership is dissolved. Business must end. If the partnership is at will and the partner gives notice of withdrawal, partner agrees to a dissolution, or a court orders dissolution. This is different from a corporation in which when a shareholder dies, there's no impact on the business whatsoever. The corp theoretically continues in perpetuity. We've got the East Indian Tea Company who's still going strong after 500 years. Okay, so that's general partnership. A kind of general partnership is a joint venture. Joint venture is similar with one important difference. Joint venture is for a specific single transaction or project or series of transactions. All right, good job, and we'll move on to the next lesson now.